Good afternoon all. Today we are going to discuss about Verilog language elements. Under that category we will discuss about different types of data types supported by Verilog. So last class we ended with this slide. It is about what are the different data types. So we have seen that there are two types of data types supported. One is called net type, another is called register type. So net type is nothing but it is a physical connection between two structural elements, and we have to remember that the default value for net type is Z. Okay. Similarly, a register type is used for storing element, or it used as a data storage element, and the default value for this is X. So these two we need to remember. So if a net is not connected with any input, then it will be by default it will be treated as Z, and in register type, if res type data type is there, then it will be by default X. Okay. So this is what we used to show in simulation. If there is a counter is there in simulation, initially if latch is not initialized, you may find don't care in the output counter output. Okay. So there are net types we discussed, where, try, where, or, try, or. So like this up to supply 0, supply 1, we are having different types of net types, followed by register types are there, range, integer, time, real, and real time. So this class mostly will go in detail of these data elements. So after this is over, we may go up to Verilog operators. So it will end the different types of data elements supported by Verilog. Okay. So after that we can go in detail of the entire modeling style. So now coming to net type, in net type different types of data types supported are where. So where is the mostly commonly used data type we used to use. Where, try, or is stand for where or. Similarly, try or, where and, try reg, try 1, try 0, supply 0, supply 1. So these are the different data types apart from where is supported in Verilog language. Okay. So we will go in detail today with net types first. If time permits, we will continue with register type. So as the syntax indicates, we used to write down, till now you have just seen that we used to write down like where, we used to write down like this, where a comma b. Okay. So this is a single bit where. Similarly, we used to write down like where 1:2 let us say C. So it is a 2-bit where. Okay. So where is nothing but it is a physical connection between two modules or two structures. Okay. So the syntax is concerned. So first is you have to write down the net kind, what is the different net type. So it may be any of this where, try, till supply 1, anything can be out of this, followed by there is a range which will give you a vector net like MSB and LSB, upper range and lower range, like here we use a 1:2. So like that you can give, followed by any number of nets you can define. Okay. So any A, B or C like that you can define. So this is a simple, there are few simple examples. So where R1 S1, so it is at, there is no vector, it is mostly a 1-bit where. Okay. So similarly 2:0 indicates a 3-bit vector. So here but the data type we have used as a where and. Okay. So we will see what is where and where or. So A1 is a where and type data type, which is also a 3-bit value, which may have 3-bit values as upper range is 2 and lower range is 0. Okay. Similarly, many times what happens, if wheres are not derived by multiple assignment, these are only derived by a single assignment. So when you are writing, like if I am writing like here I have written assign a comma b, and I will write down assign a is equal to let us say x. Okay. So this is a single assignment. Okay. So if I will write down in the same case like assign, now I will write down a is equal to y. So in this case this is two continuous statement, right. So when simulator or when it will start executing the code, so these all two will act parallelly or concurrently, that we know. in a mixed modeling type SDL, we will have all the modeling style like data flow, continuous assignment, behavioral modeling, that is procedural assignment, as well as structural modeling. It may be module or gate level modeling. Okay. So, all the body of the always and initial act as sequentially, but they execute all in parallel or in concurrent. So, if you will write down assign A equal to x and assign A equal to y, then in that case at a time when the execution happens concurrently, A is getting two values, one is x as well as y, and where data type, like here we have defined where as A. So, where data type is not support multiple driving capability. So, this is, it may give you multiple driving error. Okay. So, to address such issues we are having try, or and other try, or and where and. Understood my point? So, there is a truth table, depending upon that table, if two values are assigned to a particular output, then what will be the final result will be evaluated based on that table. So, that we are going to discuss. So, multiple assignment on a net, if you want to do, like here we have written. So, you can't use a where data type or where net type. Okay. So, you have to use or. Here I have written the same thing, like RE assigned to B and C, somewhere RE is assigned to K1 and K2. So, these two are possible if your data type is where or, that is where or. Okay. So, as the name indicates, we can just summarize that if there are two numbers assigned, like one is assigned with, let us say first I am getting RE is equal to 1, then I am getting RE is equal to 0. So, as it is where or, so 1 or 0 is 1. Okay. As a simple, we can conclude that RE is equal to 1. So, similarly, there are other situations like if sometimes it is 1 x, 1 z. So, what will be the different values? So, for that we have to refer the standard table supported in Verilog language. Okay. So, if multiple assignment is there, summary is that we can't use where as a data type. Okay. So, here we have written the effective value of RE is determined from the where or table. Okay. So, if no driver is connected to a net, this I told, the default value is z, this you remember. So, there are two types of data type mostly we have, one is called register, another is called your net data type or where type data type. So, net by default, if it is not connected, it will be treated as a high impedance or z, and if it is register by default, if it is not connected, it will be treated as a x, means do not care. So, now coming to next, let us start with the individual categories of this, all the things where, try, till, supply 0 and supply 1. Okay. So, the first one is where and try nets. What is this things? So, as you know, where is the most commonly used data type used in under net category, which is used to connect different elements. So, if there are two elements and they are not part of a procedural statement, then we used to define it is by where, intermediate connection. Okay. Those are which are not being defined in the module input outputs. Okay. So, they are generally do not store any data, unlike your register which is used designed to which supports storing of data, but there is one exception is there here, that is called try reg. So, try reg is the only you can say net type data type which supports storing of previously assigned value. Okay. So, that we will see when try reg will come with corresponding examples. So, you just simply remember that whatever net type data type is there, all are not able to store data except try reg. Okay. So, a where net is where net and try net, as the name indicates, these both are identical as far as syntax is concerned, but a try net may be used for describing multiple driver, whereas where is only used to describe a single driver. Understood my point? So, that is why in table, if you will see in the right side, I have written where and try. So, that means this table valid for both where as well as try. Okay. And so, if you will see in multiple driver case, it is showing that let us say one of the inputs is 0 1 x z, another is 0 1 x z. So, if 0 0 both are inputs are 0, then output will become 0. Okay. So, out of this table your final result will be evaluated. So, let us say one input is 1, another input is 1, then my output is 1. Okay. Similarly, x and x, so x, and z is z. In other case, you have to follow the tables. Okay. So, like if one of the input is z, whereas one of the input is 0 in multiple driver case, then it will become 0. So, out of this table your final value will be evaluated. Okay. So, examples we have taken like where reset. So, where reset is not a multiple driver. So, in that case we have also taken another example under where and try, that is try 3:1 c comma p comma s. Okay. So, you can also write like this, like MSB minus 1 is to LSB plus 1, where we can define MSB and LSB as a parameter. So, that parameter I will tell in future classes. So, parameter we can write down, just we have seen earlier classes also. So, we can write down parameter MSB is equal to 4 comma LSB is equal to 4. So, accordingly that can be here, it will become 3:3. So, it will decide the final range of A1. Okay. So, we have taken two examples here, assign C is equal to P and S, and at the same time let us say C is equal to P XOR S. Okay. So, here let us say assume that my first value of C is 0 1 x and second value is x 1 x. Okay. So, as it is a multiple driver and it C we have defined as a try. So, it can take two inputs and as per the table it will give you a single output. Okay. So, when 0 and x is there, so you can just see 0 and x, my output is x. Okay. Understood? Then next is 1 and 1. So, 1 1 means it is same case 1 and 1. So, it is 1. So, it is 1. Okay. And final x and x. So, x and x again if you will see, this is also x. So, final, even though we have defined two statements. So, these two statements will execute concurrently when at time 0 time units, and after that they will get a final value. Okay. Individual statement will assign with some final output values, and that according to the table will get the final value of C as x 1 x. Okay. So, this can be possible if you are defining it as a try net. Okay. So, similarly after this we will go for where or and try or. Okay. So, sometimes these both are almost similar type of naming as concerned, like where or try, or you can use anyone at any place, but they for better readability sometimes they have two different names. Okay. So, mostly you can use where or, for as you are more acquainted with where you can use where or. Okay. And in try or you can use some stages, like if it is there is some tri-state buffers are there, like if you know na tri-state buffer, there is a control input, if control is 1 then output is equal to input, if control is 0 then output is high impedance. Okay. In some situations you can use tri-state, it also represents tri-state buffers. Okay. The rest of the case you can use where or, that is good because we are more acquainted with where data type. Okay. So, where or as the name indicates, if any one of the driver, these are all we are discussing now about multiple driver inputs or data types. So, if any one of the driver is 1, then the value of the net is also 1. So, if you will see, if any one is 1, the entire is becoming 1, okay, irrespective of the left side. So, assume that this is one input driver, this is another input driver out of two statements. Similarly, here also if it is 1, this is becoming an entirely 1. Okay. So, this is just following the or, whatever we know about or, the similar type of thing. Okay. So, if any one is 1 means output is 1 irrespective of the other input. Similarly, but rest of the case you have to follow the table. Okay. So, we have taken two examples like MSB, LSB, you can say A, and try or also Rx, Tx using parameterized inputs values like max and mean. Okay. So, here we have written that the effective value can be found out by the given table. Okay. So, it is something like if 0 0 is there, it will be 0, if x is there and 1 is there. So, as it is 1, one of the inputs output will become 1, if x is there, output will become x. Understood? So, if z is there, one of the input is x, then it is x. So, if you will see once, you will be acquainted with the table. Okay. So, in special cases wherever you are using this, you require this table. If you are not using where or, then where is sufficient, then it is okay. Okay. So, now I think I have taken one example. This is from asicworld.com. So, here they have written a test bench where they have assigned certain values of 0 and 1 to demonstrate how the OR work, where OR. Okay. So, the same table I have for reference I have kept in right side. So, here OR A and register B and C. Okay. So, two statement we are having. Statement 1 assign A equal to B, and statement 2 assign A equal to C. That means, now A is getting two values. Okay. So, and they are keep on monitoring the values of the A, B, C and $time. $time refers to your current simulation time. Okay. And after that they have given like at hash equal to 1, B is equal to 0. So, here 1 started. So, this is my simulation result. If you will do, you will get this. So, at 0 actually what is the value of A, B and X? So, if as I told you that by default register will have a value of X if it is not defined. Okay. By default net will have a value of Z if it is not defined or if it is not connected. Okay. So, as we have defined B and C as a register, so here B is X and C is also X, because my simulation start with hash 1, but before to 1 what is my value, that is not defined. Okay. So, at hash 1 we may have a V equal to 0 and some other value we will see, but at 0 time units my B is X, C is X, as B and C are being assigned to A. So, you can say like X and X is assigned, so my output is X, so A is also X. So, this you can do coding and you can understand, but I have just given the result to proper understanding. Then after hash 1, now B is becoming 0. So, at 1 time units my B is becoming 0, but C I have not defined. So, as it is range undefined, so it is same X. So, now B is 0, C is X. So, what will be value? B 0, C X. So, now A is also X. Understood? At after as another one like hash 1. So, at now I am at 2 time units. So, at 2 time units I have defined C as 0, B I have not defined. So, B will have its own old value, that is B equal to 0. Okay. So, now B 0, C 0. So, as both are 0, so obviously A will also be 0. Then after it is 2 over. So, after again 3, at 3 you will see my B become 1 now, but C I have not defined. So, C has to remain the same, C equal to 0. So, as one of the input is 1 and it is word or try or, it will by default become 1. Okay. And similarly at 4 again B is 0, C is 0. So, A is 0, the same situation, both are almost similar. And in the 5 around C is becoming 1 and C is 1. So, if you will see in these 3 cases any of the inputs are 1. So, my output is by default becoming 1. Okay. So, there are in this particular example we have not taken Z and all, you can just simulate that with some certain other examples, but it is to show that if there are multiple input assigned to a corresponding output, okay, multiple values is, or that output will be driven by different inputs. So, at the same time how the result will be treated or it will be evaluated. We will proceed to next one. As the name indicates, it is where and try and. So, it is same as you know that if any of the input is 0, then output will become 0, similar to AND gate. Okay. So, you see here it is 0, so its entire thing is becoming 0, here it is 0 and this entire thing is becoming 0. Okay. Rest you have to see, and like one case it is 1, XX case it is X. I think the standard whatever table we have kept, it is almost similar, only those portions are changing where it is where or where on and. So, example you can take where and, data bus, try and, reset clock. So, depending upon the multiple inputs you can refer the table, given table to find out the or evaluate the final values at the corresponding data type. Okay. Same one example I have kept again. So, same only. So, at 1 0, again at 1 B is actually 0, but previously at 0 we have not defined anything. So, same x x and output is x, x x output is x. Okay. So, that means two inputs at A. Okay. So, B and C, B C x, C x, so A is becoming x. So, when A is at one time units, B is becoming 0, but C we have not defined, so it is x. So, you go 0 and it is x. So, output is x. Oh, acha, okay, this table I need to change. Okay. So, it is actually 0 and x. So, output should be 0, because any of the input is 0, output should be 0, that table need replacement. So, it is becoming 0. Okay. So, similarly if you will see here all the 3 are 0. So, any of the input is 0 means output is 0. Okay. And anyway here also as these two are 1, so it is 1, but in both other cases any of the inputs are 0, so output is 0. So, it is where and. So, it is helpful if you are using any multiple driving capability with a corresponding data type. Okay. This table you referred to the earlier slide. Okay. Then coming to try 0 and try 1. These nets also model the where logic nets. It is also used to define more than one driver. The particular characteristic of try 0 and try 1, how it differs from the other is that when try 0 is there, if there is no driver is driving the net, its value is becoming by default 0. Okay. And if try 1 case, it will become by default 1. Okay. So, if there are multiple driver cases are exist, then it will refer to the given table. Okay. So, if multiple driver cases are not available, then try 0 will drive the corresponding data type or whatever signal you are taking, that will to 0, and try 1 will drive it to 1. So, it is something like you can say try 0 ground bus. You have no ground is used as a 0 potential of the design. Similarly, VCC is used at a higher potential of the design. Okay. So, if you are using try 0 ground means that is attached to now 0. Okay. So, these types of data types are mostly used in modeling transistor level designs. So, we will see, I have told you in gate level modeling style we use multiple input gates like AND, XOR, NAND. Similarly, there I told NMOS, PMOS, CMOS is also there. Those are used to model circuits. Okay. Like transistor level netlist we can do. So, when you are doing a CMOS inverter, if you remember, in top you have to put a VDD, in bottom you have to put a ground. So, that ground has certain value. So, you have to tell Verilog that ground should be driven to 0 volt and VDD should be driven to either high volt like 1 or digital 1 or 5 volt. Okay, if it is your maximum voltage of your design. So, at that time try 1 and try 0 is helpful. Okay. Understood. So, this we may do in detail when we will do the gate level modeling of the. Once this is over, I will go in individual classes with in detail. So, at that time we will see. Just remember for the time being, if try 0 is there and there is no driver, then it will by default try 0 will drive to 0 and try 1 will drive to by default to 1. Okay. And if there are multiple driver exist to the same thing, like I have written try 1 A1, also I will write down another assign using assign A1 like we did last time. So, in that case you have to refer the table. Okay. So, this try 0 for the entire table and this 1 only will change in case of try 1, getting my point. So, this table is same for try 0 and try 1, but in the last case when input is Z and Z, if it is try 0 it will become 0, if it is try 1 it will become 1. So, now coming to try range. So, try range I told it is unlike in all the wire type or net type data types are available. Out of that, this is the only net which is used to store the data. Okay. And it can act as a register and it is used to model capacitive node in a design. So, like in transistor level design, if you are having a capacitance, because in CMOS inverter you may have a capacitance in the output side. So, if you are having capacitance in that, so at that time you can use try range. Okay. Verilog, I must say like Verilog we are having another language called Verilog AMS, analog mixed signal language. So in that we can model resistor, capacitor and everything. You can write down the code for a Verilog in Verilog for analog designs also. Okay, those are only used for simulation. So we don't use for synthesis, but only for simulation, modeling and analog design is sometimes it is very useful, because in reality your designs consist of both, like digital as well as analog. Okay. So in Verilog we should have a medium, that we should have a microprocessor in digital, and some analog module will be, like you can say, digital design will be defined in Verilog and analog design will be defined in Verilog AMS. Okay, and both can be connected in module instantiation, and it can be simulated for its final accuracy of the design. Understood? So in that case all these things will be very useful, this data type. So one example I have taken, and here you need to remember, when all the drivers to the tri-raised net are Z, the tri-raised net retains the last value, means as it is a register I told. So by default if nothing is mentioned it will get a X value, do not care. Okay. And if sometimes all the drivers to the tri-raised net is Z, that means if you are getting a Z here, then it will behaves like a storing the last value. If input is Z in tri-raised type of data type, then what it will do, it will store the last value, it will retain the last value. Okay. So we will see one example. So module test with tri-raised, it is part of test means we have not taken any input output, we have defined internal signals or wires, say tri-raised A and register B and C. So as register B and C is there, it should have a X, but in dollar monitor case they have initialized B and C initially 0 prior to your 1 nanosecond. So here prior to 1 nanosecond B and C becoming 0. So B and C is 0 indicates, so now A is becoming X, so that we will see. So now here we have written another statement called assign A is equal to B question mark C colon 1 tick BZ. Okay, this is actually called conditional operator, in detail I will tell you. In this particular example this is required, so I have taken this. So actually what happens, it does like this: if B is equal to 1, it is true, then A is equal to C. Okay. So else A is equal to, you can say BZ, means 1 tick BZ. Understood my point? So this is actually called, like I told that in behavioral modeling you can pass conditional statement using if else or case. Okay. Similarly in also Verilog supports that in concurrent assignment statements or data flow modeling you can also pass conditional assignment. So this is one form: assign A is equal to some bracketed B question mark and colon. This statement used to, it shows that if my B is true, B is written direct, not nothing like not B not written whole number. So if my B is 1, then A will be equal to C, else A will become Z. So by putting this we are passing, we are doing same if else, but in concurrent assignment statement in data flow modeling. Okay, because if else only used in behavioral modeling. So this is another way, or you can say this is a alternative to if else in data flow modeling. Okay. So in this case what will happen, so at 0 time units my B is 0, C is 0. Okay. But A is again register. So as it is register, so by default I am taking X as my output, nothing is assigned initially. Okay. So now next is when 1 time units happens, so my B is becoming 1. Okay. And C I have not defined here, so C is becoming 0. So now when B is 1 means, what is my A now? That means if B is 1 means A is now C. So C is equal to 0. So A is equal to 0. Okay. Now next is another time units are 2. My B is becoming 0. Okay. C we have not defined. So C will remain same as 0. Okay. Now as B is 0 now. So what will be the value of A? A is equal to, as far as this is concerned, when B is 1, A is C. Okay. When B is 0, A is what? Z. So as I told, when Z is there, it will use to store the last value. So last value stored is 0 now. Similarly, in 3 time units, now my C is 1 and B is 0, same case again happening. So B is 0 means again it is assigned with a Z output. So, this is also storing the last value. In the other case, I mean start here at b is becoming 1. So, when b is 1 means a equal to c and c is also 1. So, a is becoming 1. Now, in the last case I am taking b is equal to 0, but c we have not defined. So, it is remaining the same, c is equal to 1. Okay. So, as b is 0, now a should got a value of z. That means here what I want to say, if b is condition mean if b is true or b is 1, a is becoming c, else if b is 0, a is becoming z. So, in this case b is 0, that means a is becoming z. So, z means it will store the last value. So, that is why 1 and 1 is same, storing of the last value. Understood. So, this is you can simulate it. So, this is how actually try-reg work. So, here very important to remember that by default value of register is x, also try register is x, and by default value of net is what, z. Now, supply 0 and supply 1, these are also very easy data type. So, these are also used to model same ground and power, and supply 0 when you are writing it will be assigned to value 0, and when you are writing supply 1 it is be assigned to value 1. So, this we will see in detail in the gate level modeling style. So, there is another option called undeclared nets. So, by default if there is you are not defining anything, till now whatever code we have done, in that we are writing where as a data type almost. So, what we have written here, if there is no declaration of net, the net will be by default 1 bit where type. Okay, if you are not defining anything. So, till now till yesterday we know about there is only a data type called where. Okay. After that today we are seeing there are lots of another data type where, or, where and, try, like there many others are there. Okay. So, now coming to undeclared nets. So, if any nets has not been declared in code, then we have to by default it will be 1 bit where type. Okay. So, mostly when you are writing any code you have to define a variable with a net type. Okay. So, sometimes if you have not defined, it will take where as a by default data type, right. So, there are methods by which, or there is a compiler directive is there by which we can override this by default data type called where. We can assign that instead of where we may have where, or we may have where and, or try and. Okay. So, these are called as tick default underscore net type. So, see directives are the actually the by default syntax which is used to give certain direction to your Verilog coding. Okay, these directives you will find in almost all the codings styles. So, directives I have kept for to the last, because these are some theoretical you can say theoretical statements which is only you will realize if you will do in coding. Okay. So, that I will say in future classes. So, it is something like tick default, like time scale we have done, tick time scale. So, that is a directive which will give the simulation what is the time units of the design. Okay. Similarly, if there is a tick default underscore net type I am writing, followed by I am writing net kind, it may be where, it may be where, or. So, now that particular code will have a by default data type of where, or. Understood my point? So, if you are not defining anything, it is by default where. So, now you want to override the where and you want that where or will be my by default data type, then you have to, like in this example I have used where and as my by default data type, then the example is like this. You have to write down tick default underscore net type where and. So, if when you are writing this, after that whatever signals you are defining or where nets you are defining, it will be of where end type. That means, are you understanding the difference? Because where is a single driver, it is not a multiple driver, but when you are defining where and, all the variables now can be multiple driver capability. Okay. So, sometimes if you want to again reset to, there is a compiler directive not mentioned here, it is called I think reset all. So, in the after code is completion is over, I can write down reset all, then it will by default again it will go to where type as the you can say default data type. Understood? So, this again we will discuss in detail of compiler directives, but it is related to net type. So, we have covered it. Okay. So, now this is the last slide as far as your net type is concerned, in this case there are two, we can declare exclusively in where and where or, we can declare two statements called vectored or scalared. Okay, till now we have not used this, but this is, there is a provision that you can write down like where vector 3:1 g or where or scalared 4:0 and b. Okay. So, what I have written here, if the keyword scalared or vectored can optionally be specified for a vector net. So, these are for always for a vector only. So, what happens actually when I am defining a vector, let us say here g is 3:1 g. Okay. This I have defined as a vector. Okay. Anyway, let us say I have defined where 3:1 g. Now, coming to our old concept, not vector or scalar. So, here if I can write down g3, it is possible. So, this is actually called as bit select. So, that means I am selecting a particular bit which I can take and I can assign certain value, or I can use it and with certain another bit and I can assign to another variable or signal. Okay. So, this is called as bit vector. Okay. Similarly, if I will write down g3:2, this is called as this is called as bit select, it is called as pat select. Okay. So, if you want to use a part of the vector, then it is called as pat select. If you want to use a bit, single bit of a vector, it is called as bit vector. Okay. So, what scalar and vector did is that if a net is declared as a keyword with vector, then that bit select and part select of this vector are not allowed. Okay. Understood? So, that means if I have defined a word vector 3:1 g, then I can't in this, but this is a this context is in a example context. In this particular context, I can't use g bracket 3 or g bracket 3:1 2, because this is vectored is mentioned. Here I have not defined anything. So, when I am not defined vector, it is by default scalared only. So, that I have written here. No keyword is specified means the default is scalar. So, scalared means bit select and part selects are allowed. Okay. So, if it is scalared means, or if you are not writing anything like here, so it is bit select you can take and part select you can take, but by chance somewhere you are writing vectored keyword, then bit select and part select is not possible. You have to use as a whole, the entire g has to be assigned with a value, means here I can write down like assign g3 is equal to 0. So, it can be possible. So, g3 now will become 0, but in this case I can't write down assign g3 is equal to 0. Okay. I have to assign g with 3 bits. So, 3 tick b 0 0 0 like that only I will write down, a whole amount, a whole value has to be assigned. Understood? So, this is about your vectored and scalar net. Okay. So, this completes your net type data type. Now, coming to register type data type. So, there are mostly two data types exist, one is net type, another is called register data type. Okay. Again, register data type is also mostly commonly used, but apart from register you may find like integer, time, real and real time. So, as the name indicates, this time, real and real times are sometimes used for time related data assignments or data type assignments, and integer is used for a 32-bit data directly, and register is a data type which is also used to store data. Okay. And register does not have any specific bits, you can take it as a 1 bit or you can take it as a 100 bit, depends upon your requirement of the design. Okay. But integer is by default 32 bit. Okay. So, we will see integer in future. So, when I am writing integer a means a is 32 bit. Okay. But if I am writing range, then I can write range 32 is to 1, then a. So, now a will become also 32 bit. Okay, but you have to declare it by its MSB and LSB range. Understood? And range is a data type, it is used to model registers to store data, because many times these arrays are used in initial and always statement to store data, which is a part of your behavioral modeling of Verilog, and that is mostly created to store or design a sequential design. Okay, where clock is there as a one of the input and flip flop will be created after your output in synthesis is over. Okay. So now the general syntax is same like net, so range, MSB, LSB, and you can define any number of range within a single line. So MSB, LSB will define your upper bound or lower bound of the range, and you can go for parameterization also. Okay. So few signals, few syntax like range 3:0 S. So here S is a 4-bit register. So this portion will define how many bits it contains. Okay. So similarly here, as nothing is defined, it is a 1-bit register. So in this case 1:32. So K1, P1, L1 I have not written, all are 32-bit registers. So they can store at a time 32-bit of data. Okay. So a value in a register is always interpreted as an unsigned number. So if you have written C is equal to 5, the output is like this, because I have defined okay, this is actually, you can say it is C only. Okay. So as I have defined C is equal to 1:4. So 4-bit of data is there. So when 5 I have taken, so 4-bit 0101. Okay. In other case, when C is equal to -2, so it has to be changed into 2's complement form. Okay. Then you will, if you will find out the 2's complement of 2, you will find out this as the value. Okay. So it will be treated as an unsigned number. Now very important case is that register can also be used as a memory. So like memories, you know, memories consists of your means ROM and RAM, you know, na? So ROM is used for read only part, and RAM we can use for storing data for random access. So we can overwrite the data whenever required. So now we have to see how we can modify the same register syntax to act as a memory, incorporate the memory elements. Okay, that is very important. So this statement is required, or this syntax is highly required, because memory is a vital design now in industry. Everywhere the required engineers will work only in memories. Okay. So they many times ask for SRAM design, DRAM design. So different memory related designs are required to understand also. So here so the only difference is we have to write down register MSB, LSB, and then memory 1. After that you have to put another upper one and lower one boundary. So similarly see, in previous case, just see, I have written register MSB, LSB, reg 1, reg 2 up to reg n. There is no upper or lower bound. Now what happens here is, let us say, as it is now not register, it is becoming memory. So we have written named as memory 1 and memory 2. So now here MSB, LSB will be there, and there will be another upper one, lower one bound we have to give after this, and before this was there, now we have to give after this also. Okay. Similarly you can define many in a single register declaration. Okay. So for an example, register 0:3, my memory 0:63. Okay. So what it indicates? Now my memory, as far as we discuss as register, my memory is a 4-bit, it can store 4-bit of data. Okay. But it has a array of 64-bit of rows, you can say. Okay. So my memory is an array of 64 numbers of 4-bit registers. Are you getting my point? So that means now I can say, like, if I will write down like my memory 0, so it will save 4-bit of data. Okay. Similarly my memory 1, it will save another 4-bit of data. That means we may have a total like this 4-bit of data, and each address will again go like 0, 1, 2 like this. Okay. Up to my memory 63. So while accessing, you have to access through square bracket. Okay. So this is now becomes a array, becomes an array. So unlike your other is, so now it becoming one array. Okay, where you can store the data now. It is becoming 2-dimensional. So we have maximum, we have more than 2-dimensional is not allowed. So maximum we can go for more, only 2-dimensional cases. So in this case, as here it is 4-bit is there. So I have written 4-bit of registers with 64 numbers of arrays, or each row there is, you can say, different 64 number of memory locations are there. Each location can store 4-bit of data. Okay. Now you see the next example, it is written range B 1:5. So in this case it is a, how many locations are there? So as here it is there 5 locations are there, but each location can contain only 1 bit register. So if like I can say like B0 is equal to 1, B1 is equal to 0, like these 5 locations will come and each are 1 bit. So nothing is given here means it is 1 bit. Okay. So this side, after this we will decide the number of memory locations, and before this we will decide the, like here, number of bits, means what one memory location how many bits it will store. Okay. So this is the only model available in Verilog to define the you can say memories. So a memory belongs to the register data type. So memory belongs to register data type. So that is why you can see that register data type is also, you can say, is a very useful data type where you can design the memories also. Okay. So there is another example we have written here, like a single register declaration can be used to declare both register and memories. Like what we have done is we have taken a parameter size of parameter we have taken address size of 16 comma word size of 8. Okay. So then range 1:, word size, that means it is actually becoming 1:8. Okay. So now my it can store 8 bits of data. RAM pair, RAM you can say parameter based some RAM is there. So it is taking 16 minus 1 is 15:0. So now again it has a different memory location starting from 15 to 0. Okay. So now 16 different memory locations are there. In each location we can store 8 bit of data. Okay. So that they have decided in the same register declaration. At the same time, data range is, after comma we have defined data range is another, you can say, register data type. Okay. Understood? Which is only can store 8 bit of data. That too indicates that RAM pair is a memory of array, whereas data range is a simple 8 bit register. Okay. So in a single register declaration we can able to define both the register and also the memories. So there are few things we have to note down while assigning values to a memory. So a memory cannot be assigned a value in one assignment statement like we did as register. So if you will see one example here, I have written range 1:5 and D. Okay. So don't be confused, if it is written means it is a register. Okay. So if something is written after the that value like D or B, that signal or that variable, then that is one memory, or that is a vector, you can say 2 dimensional memory. Understood na? So means this add up to the column and this side add up to the rows. So that is becoming a 2D vector, 2 dimensional array. Okay. So when I am writing register 1:5 D, so D is a 5 bit register, very simple. So now how we can assign values? I can write down D is equal to 5 tick 5 values 111 11011, this is correct. Okay. But the same thing if I have written like this, register same similar type, if register B 1:5, so it indicates what, and it is something like B is 1 bit of data type, means it can store 1 bit value, but it has 5 memory locations. So if you will use this method to define like B is equal to like this way representation is not correct. So for that what we need to do, we have to define each index of that memory, and index needs to be specified for a memory when it is being assigned. That means we have to define individually the memories, like here in this example register B 1:5 over. So after that I am taking B1 1 same 1, then B2 1, then B3 0, B4 1, B5 1. So individual bit has to be assigned. Assuming this entire code we are going to write in behavioral modeling, I have not used assign statement here, do not confuse. This is, I am assuming this is part of behavioral modeling, no assign here required. So understood. So and to demonstrate the code we have not taken the entire initial and always here, only example we are understanding. So now you have to take the index of each V vector or 2 dimensional array, then you have to define individual values to that. Understood? So this is called assignment of the memory. You can't do assignment unlike your register assignment happens. Okay. Another example I have taken, here my bit is 4 bit and memory locations I am also having 4 locations. So, you can see EXROM 1, 2, 3, 4. So, there are 4 index in where EXROM 1, 2, 3, 4 is there, and we are assigning 4 bit values base format, okay, 4 tick HA, 8 F2, understood. So, this way of defining the memories are very requirement, okay, means these are useful way of defining or assigning the memories with values, okay, not like the registers. Okay, so, we are discussing about how to assign values to memory. So, one way of is directly you can have an index to each values and you can assign the values individually like this. Okay. In another way is called as your assigning values to memory by using system task. So, there are system task are there which is system task. So, there are 2 system tasks are there basically, one is called $read mem b and $read mem h. Okay. So, it will load binary values and hexadecimal values respectively. So, if you will see there will be a file, in that file we can write down all the binary values whatever you want to load to the memory. By using this system tags we can call those you can say element of those file whatever data is there, and that can be stored in the register. That is basically these 2 system tasks do. Okay. The text file must contains the appropriate form of the number. So, here there are 2 forms, one is called binary, one is called hexadecimal. Accordingly, here B is there or H is there. Okay. So, one example we have taken like register 1:4, let us say ROM B is my register which is 7:1 and 1:4. So, what it indicates? So, 1:4 it is a 4 bit data containing 4 bit data. So, you can say all these are 4 bit, and 7:1 indicates it is the memory locations are, there are 7 memory locations. Okay. So, starting from 7 to 1. Okay. So, first one will be 7, 6 like this up to 1. Okay. So, now in order to let us say ram.pat is a file, in that this file that content of the file is this 4 bit data. Okay. So, let us say I want to take this data into the our register file ROM B. Okay. So, the syntax is like this. So, $read mem b, in double quote you can put that file name ram.pat comma ROM B. Okay. So, what it will do is it will reads the value starting from the index 7 till index 1 into the ROM B register. Are you getting my point? Because first I have given 7, last I have given 1. So, 1101 will be stored first in 7. Understood my point? So, here actually ROM B is a ROM B is the, you can say it is like 7, here 4 bit data will be stored. So, like this it will go up to 1. So, 1101 will be stored here. Okay. Similarly, if ROM B 6 will be there, then 1100 will be stored. So, this is one way of assigning values to the memory locations. Understood? So, this syntax you have to remember, $read mem b binary, $read memory hex mem hex. Okay. So, accordingly you can put. So, now next is here it is binary. So, 1101 is written and we have taken B. If hex, then it has to be corresponding ABCD will be coming. Now, next here is let us say there are different variations in this context. Let us say I have written $read mem b ram.pat .pat file. This is some random, you can say random extension we have taken. ROM B is the memory or register where we are going to store. Then I have defined 5, 3. So, it is if you want to store the content of the file into a part of the memory. Okay. So, in that case you can just specify that range directly after ROM B. Okay. So, when I am defining 5, 3, it indicates that the first value will be now stored in 5, this one, then 4, then 3. Understood? So, 1101 is now stored in ROM B 5 and ROM B 4 contains 1100 and ROM B 3 contains 100. understood. So, these 3 is now to the next context of the syntax, it will be 5 4 3. So, like this you can specify the range and it will select the corresponding binary values from the given ram.pat file. Are you getting? So, like this one method is there. Another is you can also, while defining the binaries in the file, you can define its explicit addresses by using this syntax called @of hex address. So, if I am defining in the file itself like @of 511001, this is in context with another example. So, we have taken 5-bit binary @2 11010. So, if you are specifying like this, then the corresponding addresses are defined. So, if the file is taking the value, then it will take the values and it will store in the corresponding address only. So, that means in this case the values are read into the specified addresses of the memory. So, if you have defined your explicit addresses by using @ symbol. So, like here we may have 7652. Okay. So, at 5 itself 11001 will be stored, understood. Okay. Similarly, at 2 ROM bit 2 11010 will be stored. Okay. Now, next they have we are discussing like if there is a start value specified, like this is another syntax where read memb rom.pat file comma rom b comma 6 is there. So, it indicates that I have just given the starting bit or starting memory location. Okay. So, initially in by default if you are not giving anything, so it is taking from 7 towards onwards to 1. Okay. So, if by chance I have given 6 here, then it will start from the 6 and it will continue up to 1, understood. So, that indicates the first location 6 will or memory location 6 will now be having a binary value of 1101. So, it will go up to 1. So, maybe 1 will have 1001. Okay. So, like this you can initialize the corresponding memories. Okay. And the last one in this context is like if you are writing like 6 and 4, this is equivalent to this one. So, it will start from the address of read from the address 6 through to 4. So, that means the data will be stored at memory location first into 6, then last up to 4. This is almost similar to this context. Okay. So, the first value will be stored in 6 binary value, corresponding next values will be respectively stored in 5 and 4. Okay. So, this is there are 2 methods how we can assign values to the memories. Okay. So, while discussing the data type, we discussed it is net data type followed by register data type. Now, we are discussing what are the different register data types. So, we have discussed register data type and how we can use register data type as a memory and how to assign memories with values. Okay. Now, next is another data type called integers. Okay. So, integer is a data type that contains only integer values, and if you will see the syntax of the integer is it is by default it has a value of 32 bit. Like unlike your register, in register you used to define reg 31 is to 0 or reg 7 is to 0, then certain variable you are giving a or b. Integer by default it is 32 bit. Okay. And register is unsigned, integer is signed. So, that you have to take care. So, any signed arithmetic operations you are doing, it has to be done in 2's complement form. Now, the syntax is almost similar, like you write down integer and you can give any values. So, I have taken a generalized values like integer 1 to up to n, and if you want memories in integers also, then you have to put MSB and LSB range here. I told last class, if you are putting anything here, then that refers to the bits, number of bits it is storing, and if you are putting anything here, that refers to the memory locations. Okay. So, this syntax shows that integer can also be used as a memory, and by default it is going to save 32 bit of data. So, we do not write anything here, no need to write anything. Okay. So, means if you want to design one register or directly you can use integer, provided integer will the difference between integer and register is integer is signed whereas register is unsigned. Okay. So, now so here also he has told that the array range specification is optional. That means, if you do not want a memory, no need to specify this range. an integer by default holds a 32 bit data default value, and these are the, you can say, examples where A, B, C are 3 integers, all are having by default 32 bit of data they are capable of storing. Okay. And D 3 is to 6 indicate that it is 3, 4, 5, 6. So, there are 4 number of arrays are there, in that again D can able to store 32 bit of data. Okay. So, this also I told, it's use a hold a signed quantities, and it is if any arithmetic operation you are performing by using integer, then it has to be performed in terms of 2's complemented form. Okay. Now, next is an integer cannot be accessed as a bit vector. Okay. So, what we mean out of this? That means, let us say we have declared here like b is one integer, right. So, I told b is now 32 bit, okay, by default. So, now I want to access b bracket 6, this is I can say bit select. I told 1 bit of the entire let us say array vector, then I want to have a pat select bit 20 is to 10, this is not allowed. Okay. So, integers as a whole it represents a single number, or single, it represents a single whole number. Okay. So, you can't individually take the individual bit of the integer, that is a restriction. So, then how to extract it? What you can do is you can assign the corresponding integer to a register of equal length like 32 bit of size, that register individual bit and part select you can collect, or you can take it to use further in your coding. Understood? So, in this example you can see we have taken integer b is defined. Apart from this, we have taken range 32 bit again b range, because both we have to make same size. Now, I am assigning b integer equal to b range. So, that means now b range contains the same value of b, but b range is register from which I can allow to take b 6, I can allow to take b 20 is to 10, that part of the data or values. Are you getting? So, this is what is allowed. In integer b it is written not allowed, whereas after this assignment it is allowed. Okay. So, this has to remember that if you want to take any part or bit select of the integer, then it has to be assigned to a corresponding equal length of register with another variable, and that from that you can take the corresponding bit select or part select. Okay. Then another thing is, let us say you want to converting an integer to a bit vector, or vice versa. So, how it is done? So, it can be accomplished by simply using an assignment statement. So, converting from a bit vector to an integer can also be accomplished by using an assignment. So, just we will learn this through this example. Assume that integer is j. So, no doubt it is now 32 bit. Okay. Now, b is a 4 bit register, it is a simple bit vectors you can say, or of having 4 bit binaries. Okay. Now, if I am assigning j is equal to 6, so that means my j will have a in binary, it will be around 32 bit of starting from 002 till last bit is 6. Understood? So, now if I will assign b is equal to j, now b is a 4 bit vector. So, my value of b is this much only. So, left side all will be truncated. This is by simple assignment also that can be converted from integer to bit and bit to integer. Okay. Understood? So, similarly if you will see, if I am taking let us say now b is 0101 and I am assigning now b to j, now as j is integer. So, now new value of j is like 32 bit, this is actually 32 tick, then b all the 0101. Understood? So, if you are assigning, correspondingly simulator will create its own value for the corresponding respective integer or bit vector. Okay. And now let us say j is -6, which is in integer form in 2's complement, if you will find out, it is my value 32 bit with 2's complement of -6 is this much. Okay. So, when I am assigning now j to b, so now b is 4 bit, so only 4 bit of this will be kept 1010 here and rest left side will be truncated. Okay. So, as converting sometimes actually in Verilog actually there is in VHDL they have a special function to convert integer to vector and vector to integer. So, here it is done directly by simple assignments. Okay. So, tool will take care how much part it requires for evaluating its final result and how much it will be truncated depending upon the bit vector size. Okay. So, this is I think all about your integer register. So, in the list of different types of registers supported, we are having another two registers called time register and real time register. So, I told registers are classified into first is your reg, second is your integer, third is your time register and fourth is your real time register. Okay, these are the four categories. So, as the name indicates time register, a time register is used to store and manipulate time values. So, that means we have done we know a system task called $time. Okay. So, $time is used to observe the current simulation time that we know. So, in that time if you want to store those values in certain register, then you have to use a time register. Okay. So, time registers are by default 64 bit and unsigned. Okay. Unlike your integer is 32 bit signed, time registers are 64 bit and unsigned. Okay. So, the syntax is very simple, time, then after that you can give individually any time 1, time 2 like that, or if you want additionally memory also you can put the vectors here. Here no need to put anything because by default it is 64 bit. Okay. So, if no range specified, it is by default it is storing 64 bit. A time register holds always a unsigned quantity, and it can also be used with $time to hold the current simulation time and writing a timing check. So, many times what happens that if you want to know the information about your simulation time, what is the current simulation time and whether you want to measure the width of a square wave. So, at that time, or you want to measure the setup time, hold time of your D flip flop. So, at that time all these things will help you, like $time will give you current simulation time, but the values where you want to store that particular register has to be defined using time registers. Okay. So, few examples they have given here. This is the some random examples how to write down. So, here it is an memory, but here it is a single current time is a single time register having by default 64 bit of data. Okay. So, the last one here is real time registers. So, in if you will see the difference here is that real, as the name indicates, it is used for floating point operation. You can say like double is there in C, here real is there for in Verilog, real register. Okay. And if you want to do certain floating point operation in time related you can say operations like I discussed earlier, then you have to use real time. That is the basic difference. So, real time is floating point, whereas only time is not floating point. Okay. And really you can use constants for defining floating points. Okay. So, the syntax is very simple again, real, then you can write down individual reals, and these all are 64 bit floating time point. This is real is only 64 bit floating point, whereas real time is floating point 64 bit used only for time calculation. Okay. This syntaxes or examples we have taken very simple, real ST, real time, current time, like that. The default value of real register is 0, whereas we know that the default value of other registers are x we discussed, but in real time case the default values are 0. They do not, here also we have written like when assigning values x and z to real registers, these values are treated as 0. Okay. So, if you will see that, let us say we have defined a RAM CNT as a real data type, then I have assigned 0 1 x 1 z to RAM CNT. So, here see 0 1 x will become 0, again 1, z will become again 0. So, here x and z's are treated as a 0 value. So, this is all about your real time registers. Now, we have made a summary of the Verilog data type. So, at least it is a question to ask what are the different supported data type and what are its properties. Okay. So, to summarize, where you can have more than 1 bit or more than 1 bit, this is unsigned, it has a value of 0 1 x z. Okay. And reg is similarly, it is more 1 bit or more than 1 bit, unsigned 0 1 x z, it may have 0 1 x z. Similarly, integer is 32 bit, but signed, same 0 1 x z as its value. Time is 64 bit unsigned. Okay. and it is also 0 1 X state. So, here actually in few advanced level of Verilog concept, they tells that this is called as 4 state value logic. So, that is why I have written here, this is actually in context to system Verilog, they called as your data types are 4 state value or 2 state value. Okay. So, mostly real and real times, as we saw, they do not have x and z, whatever x z you will write down, it will convert it to 0 1. So, it is now a 2 state logic, okay, and rest all are 4 state logic. Apart from that, real and real times are again 64 bit floating point. Okay. So, real registers are sometimes not cannot be used in many contexts like concatenation, modulus operator, case equality. So, all these things you take a note while doing simulations, you can observe all these things. Okay. So, the last one is your parameter. So, parameter you know we use for finalizing a different, or you make the, you want to have a constant that can be defined once, and it can be used throughout your coding. Okay. So, parameter basically used also for specifying delays, at the same time it is also used for specifying width. Okay. So, we have done few RCA coding where we have taken size minus 1, some parameter we have defined. So, like this the parameter can have it may be vector, you can define all the parameters, like you can see parameter has a syntax of parameter followed by the parameter name, it may be vector or it may be single one. Apart from that, you can like define like this, like parameter line length 132 16x. So, it shows that you can just define it in the top of the code, in rest of the code you can use line length, and if you are changing that in the top, it will have a effect in the entire code. Okay. So, this is a simple thing already we have done. So, the parameter once defined in the top, there are methods to override it or change again during your coding. So, there are two methods, one is called by dep param, another is called by specifying the parameter value in the module instantiation. So, this portion I will cover in detail in the module instantiation class. Okay. So, here with we ends the data type, different types of data type supported in Verilog module or Verilog coding.